Hello, welcome to another episode of Wade's Workshop. Today we're going to be making a bread box for my wife. She's gotten into making bread this year and expressed interest in getting a bread box, so I decided to make one for Christmas. So, searched the internet, found some plans for a bread box on Craig's website, so I printed those out, and we're going to go through those and attempt to make that. I will provide a link to the plans in the description. Going to be making this out of mahogany. I found a local vendor that sells some wood and had a decent price on this mahogany. Um, I've never milled wood before, so it's going to be an experience today. So let's get started. Now let's do a quick tour of some of the tools we're going to be using. So I picked up this jointer on Facebook Marketplace. It's a Sears Craftsman 4-inch joiner. It's old, but seems to work pretty good. So we're going to give that a go today. And then I've got a DeWalt planer that picked up a few months back and haven't really had a project to use it on. So today will be really one of its first times being used. And then you can see I've got a dust collection hose hooked up. I picked up a dust collector on Marketplace for a pretty good deal as well. So a future video, I'm going to be hooking up dust collection in the shop. So I'm excited about that. So let's get started. I tested out this joiner with some pine and some cedar previously, but boy did it struggle with this mahogany. Definitely going to have to upgrade to a bigger joiner in the future. I don't know what it was about this larger board, but the joiner sure didn't like it. It did okay on the smaller boards, but it struggled with this big one. After a couple of passes, I was able to get a nice straight edge on all three of the boards. I then headed over to the table saw where I cut off as little bit as possible to try to put a straight edge on the other side. Look at all that dust. Definitely ready to get dust collection set up in here. I'm pretty happy with the outcome here. Not bad for a first time. This one had just a little bit of bow left in it still, so I'm running it through the table saw one more time to see if I can straighten it out. That seems to have worked. It looks a lot better now. All right, after a quick rain delay, we're back out here and we've got both sides squared up and we're ready to start running it through the planer. I'm going to use this board I have over here as a planer sled to run it through the planer to get a square edge, and then we'll flip it over, run the other side through, and try and get it all squared up. So let's see how this goes. Okay. Don't laugh, it's the only hot glue gun we had in the house. Well, that didn't work so well. The hot glue broke loose and the board came off the sled. Not sure why that large board was having such a hard time going through, so I switched to this smaller pine board and ended up having the same difficulties. I glued the board on better so it didn't come loose, but couldn't get the board to go through easily. After a couple adjustments, I tried it again and ran into the same problem. It waited about halfway through and then it got stuck. Without the sled, the board goes through with no problem, so at this point I wasn't really sure what was going on. Decided to do a little investigating to figure out why the sled won't go through. After some Google searching, it looks like friction's probably what's causing my problem, and it says to wax it. I don't have any Johnson's paste wax like a lot of people suggest. Sounds like that's getting hard to find nowadays, so I do have some car wax, so we're going to wax this up and see if we can make it a little smoother. Looks like the internet was correct and friction was my problem. Going through nice and smooth now. I'm pretty happy with the way this is turning out. This larger board ended up being very warped. My goal here is just to salvage as much of the board as I can. Now's probably a good time to ask if you're enjoying this video to hit the subscribe button. I know I have a lot to learn, but I hope you're enjoying watching me figure it out. Well, we were able to get quite a bit of this wood out of this. It was very warped, and end up cutting it off here and then using this piece here. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Wish it wasn't so warped on this side where I had to plane it down past that point, but all in all, pretty happy with the process. I think these boards turned out really well. Not bad for our first time. So I'm going to go trim this board down and I'm going to start laying out the bread box.